So last session, the team received an invitation to the estate of one Lord Julius Goring. Your, some would say erstwhile landlord, some would say reluctant keeper, Rufus the Just. He was invited to this dinner, and despite his trepidation about going, he sort of the people currently lodging in his estate, he recruited the three of you to come with him. You all agreed to go because you learned one of Reagan's sisters, whose name I'm not finding in the notes.
It is her youngest sister, Elizabeth.
Yes, Ellie. That was it, yes. Elizabeth is apparently the ward of Lord Goring. So you all agreed to go with Rufus in order to sort of hopefully make contact with her, because apparently this is going to be one of young Ellie's sort of debuts into the noble society of Antilla. Generally, these are sort of places where deals are made, and so you all are going there with mostly those intentions. In order to accomplish that, y'all got some, brief makeovers. Monty tried to contact Lynn, but was warned that there was something amiss, and had an interaction with...
Wow, that sure was an interaction that has traumatized Monty again.
It was an interaction, and I think that's as positive as we can sound about it. The team has sort of reconvened, and you've essentially made contact with Rufus the Just. He has sort of met you at the front of the estate in the carriage, which y'all will be taking in, and yeah. You all file in. The coach of the carriage is one of the residents of the estate, the exceptionally old man, as well as sort of head guard, who is named Malice Marcus. He is essentially y'all's coach for the evening. And you begin your journey towards the estate of Lord Goring. So you guys are going, and you're in the carriage right now, and the sun is set. It's sort of early evening, but the sun's kind of down. Dusk is creeping over. You saw the last vestiges of sunlight are spreading over the sky as Rufus kind of takes you all in, and he just goes, "You all look really good, And I can look like a piece of crap, That's
Don't. We're in the cart right now.
Yes.
Okay, Reagan is just sitting there with her arms folded and her eyes shut, in deep thought.
Is she awake?
We're not sure.
Monty kind of touches her with his toe. See if she's awake.
She just opens one eye and just kind of looks at him "Yep, I'm awake," but she doesn't say anything, and then she closes her eye again.
Okay, so that's happening. Don't stress about appearances. I mean, do stress about appearances, Rufus. Always stress about appearances. But...
This pep talk's going great.
Shut up. My point is, I believe I am correct in thinking that everybody in this city more or less respects you, and somewhat expects you to be a rough and tumble hero type, right?
If I knew what they would expect from me, if there was any consistency to this, I would not do it. I would avoid it at all costs. But no, it is, I don't really know, honestly. I'm not really sure.
Well, I would say follow my lead, but maybe don't. But I'll do my best. For all of us.
For what it's worth, I think everybody looks great.
Oh, yeah, we are dressed past the 9s. We're not even to the 9s. We're dressed to the 14 or 15s, if you ask me.
I mean, like I said, you all look really good. And I look, kind of a bit schleppy. So, you all continue without too much unmolested through the city streets. I think at this point most folks recognize the carriage of Rufus the Just. You see Rufus kind of poke his head out the window, and he says, "All right, we're here." And you've all been already to one of the Archduke's estate, which is sort of this grand sweeping vista, very well put together. Lord Goring's, by contrast, the Goring estate is a bit dingy is not the right word, but it's not too far off. It is certainly large. It is imposing, however, it is there's no grace to it. There's no artistry. The Goring estate is harsh angles and lines. It is functionality. It is the definition of functional architecture. And as you all come up to sort of the walls lining the estate, there's sort of a brief moment of kind of pause while Malice Marcus speaks to sort of like the gate guards. As he's doing this, Rufus turns to you all and he says, "So, any last chance, if you want to back out now, you don't want to go and, interact with people."
On a scale of people who've previously blackmailed me to, pure unadulterated evil, where does Lord Goring fall on that scale?
It's difficult to say. I think that Lynn is sort of doesn't really talk a ton, or didn't really talk a ton about like political situations and her parents' like rivals and such. But I do think that she is intimated, or at the very least Monty's been able to intuit that Lord Goring is known as a cunning political operator who is not afraid to do what is needed to be done. He is a bit old to be unmarried and childless. Normally by then they, noble families have had children and to sire heirs, and he has not thus far. But you also know that he, the reputation you've heard sort of around the city is that the Von Templars are cunning political animals. Lord Goring is, he's not an animal at all. He is supremely and entirely human, a completely rational creature.
Interesting. All right.
At that point, the gates open, and Malice sort of takes the cart in. After a couple minutes, after like maybe a moment of going forward, you come to sort of the turnabout, which lets you out up to the entrance stairs into the estate. As you step out, you see that there are perfectly manicured lawns. What really strikes you is that there are a series of pools all throughout the grounds from what you can see. Sort of the turnabout where folks are picked up by the carriages and dropped off. It is a circle which around it wraps around a large and majestic fountain which is currently going, but even further out than that in the grounds proper where you would normally expect to find, gardens or perhaps a stable, it is almost entirely water features. There are some of them are three-dimensional, some of them are more like sort of larger patterns, but that is the definition. That is sort of the defining feature here is water. Ahead of you, however, you see that same squat building, a building which is defined by no artistry, merely function. The stairs lead up into sort of what you assume to be the main entrance into the entrance hall.
Reagan gets out and goes up the stairs.
Monty's gonna trip out after her, trying to catch up.
Brico will gracefully leave the carriage and follow.
Rufus seems to almost like linger for a minute, and he kind of looks at the carriage a little like longingly, but then he sort of just sighs and comes after y'all, coming sort of hurrying up and coming up, walking shoulder to shoulder with Reagan, and he says, "You're not gonna do anything, crazy, right?"
Reagan just shakes her head.
Reagan, are you okay?
Just kind of like, nah, and just keeps walking.
I wonder if she's hiding more rocks in her.
Probably. Roll to detect cheek pouches.
Reagan's
17.
quiet today.
I gotta say, I do like the idea of just like Reagan, like there are rocks in Reagan's mouth, yes, but it's mostly her. Like she doesn't like suck them; she just chews on rocks and just grinds them into dust in her mouth.
Yeah,
It's like,
Spits out diamonds.
Yeah. Where did you think diamonds came from?
how do you think the noble nation of Gothric managed to support its wartime efforts? It wasn't just giving a young Reagan just rocks and saying, "Make diamonds for us."
Oh,
It was a real fucking Rumpelstiltskin situation. Anyway, but yeah, Reagan just heads up to the door, I guess.
So Reagan and Rufus are kind of leading the way, and behind them are Rika and Monty. And after a moment, you manage to sort of scale the stairs. It's not particularly difficult because they are stairs. They're not too high. You come to the main entrance. There are 4 guards, 2 to each door, and they're kind of like standing there impassively. And you get the impression that these are actually like relatively competent guards. These are not just sort of like the mooks of the city. These are the personal guards of Lord Goring, and they seem rather hardened as far as warriors go. But as you enter in, you see an entrance hall, which is... It's difficult to reckon the amount of taste and elegance to the decorations here when contrasted with the way the room is supposed to look. The room itself is ugly. The colors are wrong. The way that it's constructed, it's like being in a Panera Bread. It's just designed to be unpleasant. However, someone has gone through and just covered it with the most elegant and tasteful decorations you've ever seen. And it gives you a little bit of cognitive dissonance as you walk in. This particular entrance hall goes down maybe 50 feet. And sort of, it's rather wide, around 15 feet. And you can see the sort of like, on the sides, maybe every 15 feet, there is another sort of side door on each side. But it seems as though, at least based on what the carpet laid out is leading you to, y'all will be going forward, deeper into the manor. And indeed, standing sort of at the far end of the room, there are 2 staircases hugging each wall, which lead up. And then in the middle of it is just sort of like a large set of double doors, which are currently open. Standing there, a little bit before the actual stairs start, is a halfling wearing a very, very smart butler's outfit. Has sort of this, like a bit of a Guy Fawkes kind of mustache and beard. He has immaculately plucked eyebrows, bit of a darker skin tone, been seeing some sun. And he has sort of blonde hair, which is slicked completely back. And he's sort of standing there. His hands are clasped in front of him, and he is watching you as you enter.
I thought I was going to be fine doing this, but I feel a lot worse now that I'm here.
Rufus, darling! And Reagan puts a hand on his shoulder and turns to him. You simply must introduce me to the master of the house. I must compliment him on these decorations. And Reagan is an entirely different human being.
Oh my god.
Rufus is particularly surprised by this. He just looks at you for a second and he goes, "What?"
The master of the house. Sure, he invited you to this soiree. Surely you know him.
Or is that the butler? The monkey butler.
No, that's not him. Of course I know that's a butler, Montague. Please.
It takes him a minute, but he seems to realize what you're doing, and he goes, "Yes, forsooth, my lady."
Oh, Rufus, you don't have to put on airs for me. I know how you talk normally. This is how I, of course, talk normally. Butler.
At this, the butler seems a little like, you get the impression he sort of knew what he was going to be getting, and then sort of you show up like a heavily scarred but very put together noblewoman, and he just kind of like, there's a moment, a flicker of just like uncertainty. But this is a professional. And as soon as that sort of flickers over his face, it is back to the smiling mask, and he sort of just hurries over. He doesn't look like he's hurrying in terms of his steps, but he seems to be crossing the ground a lot more quickly than sort of his relaxed demeanor would imply. And he says, "Yes, how may I help you?"
Yes, I was wondering if you could help my friends here with their coats and let me know where the lord of this manor happens to be, the host of this elegant party, so that I may compliment him on his decorations.
Oh, yes, of course, but I must warn you, Lord Goring has no head for And decorations. No. It was his sister, Lady Claudia, who is the one responsible for such things. I am certain the two of you could swap decorating tips.
Oh, I'm sure we could. She sounds delightful. Could you just point me in the right direction?
Yes, of course. Sadly, the ballroom is currently under renovations, but the Lord Goring will be, Lord Julius will be receiving you up in one of the secondary dining rooms, along with the other esteemed guests of the evening. I hope this is all right.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What did you say your name was again?
Oh, pardon me, my lady. My name is Helry Bourne.
Helry, thank you so much. You've been a delight. I will find the secondary dining room which you just alluded to, and I'm...
Oh. It is just up the right staircase, and then simply the third left there. I would show you there myself, but I am waiting to receive the other guests.
Oh, no worries. You have a very important job to do. Thank you so much. And Reagan heads off towards the stairs.
Okay, bye, Reagan. Helry, I do have one last question before I leave you.
Yeah.
I have been to a few different styles of, get-togethers, meetings, dinners, balls, whatever, what have you. And my question was, is this, does Lord Goring intend this to be the sort of formalized thing where we announce the different members of the party as they enter the room, or is it a more laid-back affair?
Montague, the lady said her name was,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
Lord Montague, I believe you will find that in Lord Goring's private affairs, such need for pomp and circumstance is rarely called for.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm going to go catch up with my compatriot. Come on, Brika, let's go. Quickly.
Also, I just want you guys to know that Brika was chuckling when Reagan called him Montague.
Montague.
As Monty, as you're walking, you sort of see at the corner of your eye, Rufus hasn't moved yet, and he just sort of realizes that y'all are walking, and he just kind of does this super awkward kind of
Robot
bow where he's trying to show some of his calf.
Rufus, darling, don't dawdle.
Yes, forsooth. And then he follows as fast as he can. And then he hurries after, and he says, "So, were you gonna tell me that you know how to talk like these people?"
Man, I grew up around this bullshit.
Yeah.
I just had spent the entire ride here remembering every fucking etiquette lesson I ever took. Jesus Christ. He's a local deity.
That's weird.
In Gothric. You wouldn't know him.
Jesus Christ. I didn't have as much opportunity to practice all of the etiquette lessons, but me too.
Oh no, I'm pulling all of this out of my ass, my good dude, but we're gonna make it
My
work.
dude.
At least this isn't one of the, and here she is, the master of the universe, Reagan, what's her face?
I should hope not, because I am wanted.
Yeah. That's what I was concerned about. That's why I was checking in on that, because,
I mean, probably be fine. And she keeps going up the stairs.
Jesus.
I don't have a title.
Your title is best one. Yeah.
Best
nailed
guy.
it.
Best
The
guy.
best.
Best guy, Brika-cha.
Yeah, Reagan cracks her neck and keeps going. She's up. She wants to go upstairs.
Okay. Deep
Okay.
breath.
Yeah,
Fancy pants. Let's go.
So, I think that you managed to make it up without too much incident.
Thank God.
And you walk upstairs and you turn into a hallway which is a little bit less ostentatiously decorated, but still clearly there's someone who has an eye for this sort of thing. And you see the third door on your left is open, and there is another butler there. This one is a smartly dressed elven woman. She has sort of her hair drawn back in a tight bun. It is red. She has some freckles on the face, and sort of this very long, patrician-esque nose, and just a very kind of angular face. And she's sitting there, hands clasped in front of her, in a very similar stance to Helry as you all approach. And she says, Good evening. You are... Oh, pardon me, Lord Rufus. I did not recognize you for a moment as you were with such stunning company.
Oh, and isn't he stunning himself? Just the picture of Rufus.
Rufus gives his most winning smile, which,
Leaves something to be desired.
you realize, yes, to say the least, it's kind of just like a... like, if that noise was a smile, that's what he's got.
Reagan gives an anime princess laugh. Oh, Rufus, you do go on. Yes, is this the dining room where we will be received by the Lord and Lady of the house?
The elven woman sort of smiles and she says, yes, Lord Goring and Lady Claudia will be there with you shortly. But feel free to enter in and acquaint yourselves with the other guests.
Fantastic, thank you so much. And your name was?
Oh, my name is not important, but, well,
what may I call you?
If you must, you may call me, Sane. Sane Cleamsel.
Fantastic, thank you so much, Sane. You have a wonderful evening. A shame you have to work through it, but...
Oh, no shame at all.
You're right, there is no shame in an honest day's work. And she puts a hand on her shoulder. Probably a really awkwardly strong hand, because, in her whole noblewoman thing, she's still Reagan. So.
An eerily strong hand.
Masculine, calloused.
Covered in scars. It's really more callous than normal skin at this point. And you all enter in. What you see before you is not the actual dinner itself, but it is instead the parlor. The parlor, which you can sort of see further back, there is a door which you can just very faintly make out the occasional tinkle of silverware on a table. You get the impression that they are currently setting up dinner.
Oh, I was hoping for hors d'oeuvres.
Well, thankfully, the room you're in does have two servants who are moving through, each which has a silver platter which they are holding.
Thank God.
And they're sort of they're weaving effortlessly in between the guests who are chatting, keeping the trays from the line of sight, so if anyone wants to grab them they can, but never actually interrupting the conversation, as any good servant would. The room itself sort of follows a similar aesthetic as the other areas in the manor. However, this room looks to have been recently renovated. Most of these sort of more dour colorings and odd angles have been replaced by tasteful wood paneling, a tapestry which sits in the corner, and a number of, very comfortable looking armchairs, sort of tables, and they are occupied by a number of very, very well-dressed individuals. There are a couple that catch your eye, but total there are maybe 20 people. But the ones that catch your eye are a rather dour-looking young man. He is human, and there's something about him which looks familiar. However, you're not quite able to make a connection yet. It's like it's on the tip of your tongue.
What are the ears like?
But you're not quite. The ears are human. He is human. Don't worry. He is sort of, but he looks general. But he doesn't look particularly like. There's something about him which sort of strikes you, and you're not sure what exactly, but it's sitting with you. Further back, you see a tiefling, a rather richly dressed tiefling woman. She is sitting in an armchair. She has a cigar which she is smoking as she is sort of looking out, kind of just taking in the room and everyone there. Most people seem to be giving her some distance, though. You're not sure why. The third one, who you notice, I think it was in your first glance, the ones who draw your attention the most. That is a woman a human woman of darker skin tone. She has sort of black hair, which is very clearly going to gray, but she is making no effort to hide it. It is drawn back in a sort of a tight ponytail, which is done up in sort of a looping, curling fashion. However, what strikes you about her are her eyes. They are iron gray, and there is nothing it feels as though every time she glances at something, she takes in more information. And you get this impression because she glances over at you four, and she lingers on each one of you. Not for too long, just for half a moment. As she glances Monty, Reagan, Rufus, Brika.
If Sarah were here, I'd say that one's Wisteria.
Who is the most important fucking person here? Is it her? That's Wisteria.
Yep.
Oh.
Reagan strides over to her. Madam, I couldn't help but notice your captivating stare from across the room. My name is Reagan Kym. I don't believe we've been acquainted, but I would certainly like to get to know you.
As soon as you start speaking to her, her face kind of like goes from taking in information and counting it away to just a very controlled smile. The mask never leaves her face, but it shifts to an entirely different mask with a different purpose, which you, having been raised in a noble court, you know how difficult this is. And she shifts to one of pleasantries, and she says, "Well, I believe we will be good company for one another, seeing as our names are so similar, Lady Kym. I am Lady Saya Khan. A pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Saya Khan, I have heard so much about you. It's a pleasure to finally meet you face to face.
And you as well, Lady Kym.
Lady Khan, have you met my companions?
Oh god, we're talking. Okay, let's go.
As sort of the others approach, Rufus's face kind of drains of blood a bit, and she says, "Why, yes, I have crossed paths with the champion of Vintilla a few times. I was there at his rather marvelous debut.
And what
He
a
asked me to
champion
dance.
he is.
He is indeed. Are you two..."
Buddies? Yes. Absolute buddies. Just a couple of bros.
Like a sister.
For the first time, you see there's sort of a look, not of confusion, but of speculation on her face. And she just kind of takes in that information and nods a little bit, and she says, "Interesting. And I do not believe you have done me the pleasure of introducing me to your other two compatriots."
Oh, yes, well, actually, I shouldn't be telling you this, but a lady such as yourself, perhaps you don't follow these things, but are you familiar with the masked mayhem?
Oh, are we really bringing that up?
I have certainly enjoyed my fair share of the mayhem.
Well, you'll be pleased to find the runner-up and... Brika, what place did you place this year? Fourth? Fourth place?
I don't remember.
You were robbed. The near champions of this year's Masked Mayhem, the Harbinger and Filchiati, otherwise known as Cobalt Justice, and she just kind of gestures to the two of you,
Monty.
making a very formal introduction.
Monty makes like a weird motion with his hands and then settles into a deep, deep bow. Almost like he was maybe going for a curtsy and forgot he was not wearing a dress.
Classic Montague.
But
Brico waves.
Oh, Brika.
Montague Pensmouth, it's a pleasure to meet you. Formerly known as the Harbinger in the Masked Mayhem.
She sort of looks at you, takes you in, on sort of you on the hall, and she nods a bit. She says, "Yes, well, that's fitting.
I'm sure I don't understand.
The masked mayhem always draws its amount of supporters, its amount of fans. The young ladies of Vintilla were all aflutter about the Harbinger, dangerous as he was. Those who were taken with the Alder King, of course, but..."
Oh, of course, the Alder King,
well.
who robbed Cobalt Justice.
Yes, surprising that it was
Shocking
that it was the
turnabout.
young, yes, that it was the young son of the core of the Von Templars, after all.
What a shock that was. Anyway, Lady Calm, I would not want to monopolize your time. I'm sure a lady such as yourself has many people vying for her attention. I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
And what would that be?
I was wondering, I'm new in town, you see, and I was wondering if you could point out Lady Claudia to me if she is in the room at the moment, so that I may compliment her on her decorations.
Well, when Lady Claudia arrives, I am certain that I'll be more than happy to point you in her direction.
Thank you so much, Lady Khan, and again, a pleasure to meet you. And Reagan disengages from that conversation.
As you're walking away...
Does she get an attack of opportunity then?
Yes, you're dead, Reagan.
Fuck.
No. As you sort of walk away, unless someone else wants to say something to her, or is everybody going to leave with Reagan?
Following Reagan on this one.
Brika, do you want to give her a sign-off catchphrase, like classic Cobalt Justice stuff, you know?
How old is she, Andrew?
She looks to be around 50, like late 50s.
Okay. Monty is going to bow deeply, take her hand, and kiss her ring finger before disengaging.
You don't even call her godfather.
Monty, as you pull her hand towards you, you see, you notice two things. Number one, she's missing most of her ring finger. But you notice that where a ring once was, or would have been, there is sort of like a mark there. Well, it looks to be sort of like a long standing, as if like she wore a ring for long enough that it would have reshaped her, like what was left of her finger around it, the last digit.
I understand.
Yeah. As you lean in, she tilts her head ever so slightly, and she just says, I must say, Lynn picked a good one.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, she ships it too.
Well, I am beyond flattered that you think that, madam.
It was not flattery, dearie. Good is so rarely what we need in this city.
Yes, ma'am. Well, then, please pardon...
Montague, darling, don't dawdle.
Pardon my intrusion. My friends are calling. And he gets up and bows again really quickly and runs after Reagan.
Doesn't cry.
Does not cry!
Not crying!
Yeah, you're crying.
I'm a big boy.
I'm a big boy.
Hello, friends. Thank you so much for coming to this week's episode of Masks and Martyrs, the beginning of our super spooky That Which Is Buried arc. This is my favorite arc in the game so far. Not just in the podcast version of the game, but in the game. So I really hope you guys like it. First off, if you guys are enjoying the show, I would love if you could leave us a review, but especially this week, if you are enjoying us, the one thing I want to ask from you is to share us with a friend. We're really trying to get the word out about the show right now, so if you could share us with a friend or maybe tweet at us, our username is Masks and Martyrs, and you can also use that as a hashtag. By the way, we just returned from Ancient CityCon and had a blast meeting a ton of new D&D fans. If you are listening from the new editions from Ancient CityCons, hello! Thank you for listening, and if you want to hang out with the rest of us, there is a Discord server link in the description. In addition, we did not sell out of merchandise at Ancient CityCon, so we will be putting the leftovers on our store in the next week or so. We will drop a link in the Discord server when that comes available so you guys can get to it first. There is not a ton of it, but I can always make more. And also, we are currently migrating our store, which is part of why I am not giving you a link to go buy things right now, because Katie and I are working on it. Hey, if you like this show, you would probably be interested in some of the other shows on the Nerdification Media Network. Specifically, if you're liking this show, I bet you would probably also like Dwarf Stars and Dreadnoughts, which is our sister actual play podcast, which has a more sci-fi flavor, but is still D&D. So definitely give them a listen if you get to this episode and finish and you're hungry for more. Last but not least are our music credits. The intro is Threads of Fate by Thomas Hart and Diana Paparosi. Our mid-roll is Kevin MacLeod's Dreamlike, and our ending theme is Merry Meet Meg by Hopper and the Books on Tape. And thank you, by the way, to Hopper for coming with me to Ancient CityCon. It was a delight to have you. With that, I'm going to let you guys get back into the episode, so I hope you enjoy it. This one's a little bit back-heavy, but I hope you guys will still enjoy it. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Rufus is still with them, right?
Yes. He's just kind of like... He's just a little confused as to how y'all know so well what to do.
Rufus, you told me that she's like the fucking scary one, right? She's like terrifying. I feel like you told me that she was like scary as hell. That lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, man. For sure.
Why does she know? Why was she at your debut?
Oh, no. See, she calls it a debut, but that was the day that me, Delia, and Kahlo got hired to try and stop the murder of everybody, and we kind of did.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good job.
It was a weird day.
And was she one of the ones to be murdered, or was she doing the murdering?
No, the one who was supposed to be murdered was this guy, Limberton, one of the lords. You know, he tried, and you know, there was this girl, and well, she turned out to be a necromancer who was trying to kill everybody. And then there was this vampire who, you know, tried to like kidnap one of the noble daughters, and it was a whole thing. And man, that was a whole.
You know, Rufus, I'm gonna stop you right there. That sounds like a whole different campaign.
You know, you'd think that, but I like think it's all kind of interconnected in its own way, seeing as they haven't played these characters since.
She's. I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, Monty, you should have thought of that before we let the carriagemen go.
Yeah, I don't like being here either. It doesn't. They aren't people here. You know, they're just questions they ask you, and they smile a bit and nod, and that's the thing, right? Like if I wanted to, I could probably kill any one of them.
Don't say that out loud.
Listen,
Don't
Rufus.
be that guy.
I'm being quiet. I'm being
Rufus.
quiet.
That don't make you special. I could do.
Rufus.
No. I mean, on my terms, I matter. You know. Here, I don't.
Well, Rufus, you matter to me, and here's what we're gonna do. Let's get in and out as quick as we can, maybe, hopefully. Why don't we fan out and try to find out where my sister is or what time she's gonna be here or something. I'm not gonna, like, pull a kidnapping or anything. I just want to see how long
I mean, we've
have
done
to
very
keep this
well
up.
with that in the past, haven't we?
Wait, your sister's here?
She will be.
Yeah, I told you that, I think. Maybe. I forgot to tell you that. Anyway, my sister's the girl debuting, and I need to find out when that it's going to be to figure out how much I need to pace myself. I'm already running out of voice juice here.
I can attempt to be social as well.
Alright, you want the sad young man or lady cigar tiefling?
I want to talk to the sad young man that I think I know. Can I, like, roll for that if I know him before I go up to him, or...
Roll a history for me.
History! Good thing that I'm good at that. That's a 13 plus 5, 18.
You're not entirely sure who he is, but he looks very similar to someone you met not too long ago.
Does he look like a Von Tepler? He doesn't look like a Von Tepler. His ears are wrong.
He is not a Von Tepler.
Does he walk like a duck?
Does he walk like a fucking shambling corpse that harassed me?
No. I think you would recognize Mortis at maybe like 100 yards.
Yeah.
Just like him kind of like arching his fingers together and like just viciously eating some food.
Is it the young lion of Kobold Kai?
No, I think you would have noticed if it was Young Lion of Kobold Kai, because I would have said it was.
I'm gonna guess
kobold.
that Brika's the only kobold in the room.
But yes, Brika is the only kobold in the room.
Alright, so you're on Dower Boy duty.
Boy duty.
Brika, you wanna tag team the tiefling lady, or do you wanna just go like loot Lady Calm's pockets? I mean, she's probably got something cool, right?
No.
Or you could vanish and investigate things.
Andrew, is there anything to be gained by vanishing and investigating?
I mean, in this sort of situation, to be possible, like, if you were trying to, like, listen in on somebody, you could certainly try. It'd be a little difficult, because it's not, like, this isn't, like, an area which is super conducive to hiding, right? Because there's, like, the point of being here for most of these people is to sit around
And be seen.
making deals and be seen and watch people, like
Right.
So it'd be a little difficult if you were trying to do that, I'd say.
Then Brika's gonna stick with Reagan.
Alright. Let's go meet this tiefling lady. she's Rufus. You good, man? You want to hang back?
Yeah, I'm good.
Is there like a platter nearby that has alcohol on it that she can give Rufus?
There are the two servants are moving through with the platters.
Can I just say that one has like alcohol?
I think that's fair.
She grabs a glass of alcohol beverage and just gives it to Rufus and says, hang in there, dude. And let me know if you see Lord Goring.
He just sort of nods. He goes, yeah.
Drinks on me. Get it? Because they're free.
They're free.
Get it, Rufus? Rufus, do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, cool. And she and Brika are off, I guess.
So you two are going to the tiefling.
And Monty's handling the dour dude.
Okay. Let's resolve them. Let's solve the tiefling first.
Okay, Brika, how do you want to do this? Good cop, bad cop. I'll be bad cop. You be worse cop. How do you want to play this?
Do we have to be cops?
Fuck, no, you're right. We don't have to be cops.
Ooh, good discourse.
Though, then what do we do? Brika, what do we do?
I don't know why you're asking me. We're doing fine.
I want you to feel included, Breek. Anyway, you cool with me bringing up your wrestling career? Because I think that's gonna earn us brownie points.
Whatever.
Cool. Maybe do a little card trick or something. Not the one where you make a snake pit. That seems inappropriate.
I'll save that one for later.
We're gonna prank that guy who interrupted Monty's peeping Tom stuff so hard. I can't remember his name, but Monty was definitely upset about it. And we're gonna prank him real hard. Anyway, with Snake Pit. Anyway.
What a misunderstanding of why Mortis Chemical was unsettling.
Listen, all they know is that their friend Monty was upset by some guy who lives with them, and Reagan is the queen of pranks now. She heard of pranks, and now she's the queen.
I just like the idea of being like, of just like, who, Mortis Chemical? Oh, that guy, he's just like an anime pervert trying to steal all his panties. That's all he's doing. Trying to look at them in the hot springs. That's what he's doing.
And anyway, we're gonna put him in a snake pit. Anyway, so Reagan approaches the richly dressed tiefling woman with a cigar. Pardon me, madam. I hate to impose. You wouldn't happen to have any extras of those. The smell is exquisite. Must say. What a rich aroma. I don't know how people fucking talk about cigars, and neither does Reagan.
She kind of looks at you for a minute, sits forward, turns to one side, turns to the other, and she goes, "Sorry, what?"
I was just admiring your choice in cigar.
Okay. Why?
Smells good? Do you like wrestling?
She's gonna continue. She goes, "This is the worst cigar that you can buy in the city."
You know, that must just be my... Why are you smoking it then?
I like it.
Well, I like it too.
Sorry, who are you again?
Oh boy, riveting conversation at these parties, huh?
Yes.
So glad I'm not
Reagan.
a part of this.
This is Cobalt Justice. She's cool.
Hi, Miss Justice. Pleasure to meet you. It's kind of weird that you're named Cobalt, but... You know.
No, it's her wrestling name.
It's a stage name.
It's a thing.
Oh.
How do you know Lord Goring?
Lord Goring and myself have an understanding.
I see. About cheap cigar prices?
I believe that is a private matter between myself and the Lord.
That's fair. So what do you think of
Reagan exhausts all Mass Effect dialogue trees with his character.
how about the no.
How about those
What?
snake pits?
Snake pits. You ever been in a snake pit? I have. Not fun.
Sorry, what What can I do for you exactly?
I should go.
Okay.
Brika, ask her that thing you wanted to ask about. And Reagan starts to take a few steps back because she does not know what to do.
And Brika just looks at this tiefling woman and says, "We don't have great social skills. Good night!" and turns and walks away.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Nailed it!
It's okay.
Each of them had a different way to approach them, and that was not the one. Oh, it was so good.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I have
so
never
good.
been more humiliated at second hand.
Listen, Reagan only is pretending to know how to talk to people.
This is agony.
You're welcome.
That was everything that I ever needed. Oh man. Anyways, Montague. So you approach the dour-looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach, kind of looks at you, takes you in. You can't shake this feeling that you've seen him somewhere before. He is human. He has pale skin, jet black hair, and just these very uniquely blue eyes.
Is this the creepy guy from the Masked Mayhem? Is this the human guy who is like shaking and bestial and fucking insane?
No, this is not werewolf.
Okay.
Gimmick.
Okay.
This is not it. No.
Okay.
No.
The wrestler.
He seems. No, No, I have plans for the wrestler. Don't you worry. But no, he. You don't know if you've ever seen him before, but he's something about him strikes you as familiar. Like how if you looked at a picture of someone through the bottom of a bottle, right?
Yeah.
Like the glass is thick enough that it would warp the frame a little bit. That's sort of the impression you get from him. And as you approach, you're sort of taking him in. He is also taking you in. He just says, "Can I help you?"
I'm sorry to bother you. I saw you from across the room, and it's been driving me absolutely batty. I feel as though I know you from somewhere, but I'm certain we've never met before.
I don't think we have met before.
I'm fairly certain we haven't, but I can't quite. I feel like I have. My name is Montague Pensmith. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he offers his hand.
He takes it in for half a second, half a moment, just like half a heart before he reaches his own hand out. He takes it and he says, "Adwald Manada."
Nada.
Got it. Okay.
He says, "So, what can I do for you, Mr. Pensmith?"
I was really just solving the mystery. I couldn't quite figure out where. So you're of the Manada house then? That would explain it, wouldn't it?
Well, despite certain disagreements, I am still a member of the Manada household, yes.
I can't pretend to understand, but I can empathize. What brings you to Lord Goring's party? ? Situation? What would you call this?
Soiree.
I suppose.
Andrew would call it a soiree.
So I suppose.
He sort of just nods, but he says, "I am here because certain things have been promised, and I intend to ensure my position in the future, despite the efforts of others. I believe most are here for similar reasons."
I mean, are you looking to marry the young lord who's supposed to debut today?
Good breeding can only take you one so far, and if I am to accomplish what I wish, it will take more than a pretty young lady to accomplish that. And what of you?
Oh, me. I'm a guest of Rufus the Just, and Monty gestures over to where I'm sure Rufus is just standing catatonic with a glass of wine in his hand.
No, actually, Rufus is in the midst of just draining the glass of wine, just in one go, just Let's just go.
Reagan joins him and does the same, probably.
After that tiefling, yeah.
He sort of looks at him, turns back to you, and he says, "Well, that's certainly interesting."
Yes, he's been very kind to me so far since I've been in the city. He's
What brings you to the city, Mr. Pensmith?
books. I had always wanted to see this Intella Central Grand Library, and it did not disappoint. I was hoping to read, the whole thing, but that will take a little bit more time.
Can you roll me a deception check?
Is it a deception if that's like half the truth?
Kinda.
Well, it's a 17 plus 3, that's a 20. I really like books, y'all.
He gives you a long look, or it feels like a long look to you.
These
And then he
glasses
says-
tell you anything other than nerdy? Like,
Oh, no. The glass is in a clear signal. And he says, "Well, the library certainly is a draw to scholars from around the world. I must say, though, never mind.
I'm sorry. I'm quite curious. Is it odd to be a scholar in Hintilla?
No, there are scholars here, certainly. However, it is perhaps a little uncommon for a mere scholar to end up at the side of Rufus the Just, who, while he is not the most impressive man, he has a talent for drawing certain folk around him."
Oh, well, I mean, it's largely because of the masked mayhem. I was the harbinger. I came in second, actually. It's kind of surprising to me as well, but he put me up after the masked mayhem was over, and so I've been hanging out with him since. Do I need to roll deception again? Because that was a bold-faced lie.
He seems like he's focusing on other things right now. He's not scrutinizing that part of your story.
What is he focusing on?
And he's sort of staring at you, and he says, "Yes. A word of advice, Mr. Pensmith? I would find someone who can, certain individuals tend to gossip. I try not to be one of them.
What, is there some
But-
untoward rumor about me around town?
Not about you, per se.
About Rufus,
Not
then?
about a young... Oh, many about the champion of the city. But no, there are no rumors about a young half-elven man with darker skin and a pair of glasses, but there have been questions asked about those who, someone who may have similar traits.
Well, that's it's quite interesting.
Who could it be?
Who could it fucking be?
Well, these are interesting times, Mr. Pensmith.
They certainly are. I really do hope that I have the opportunity to see through most of them. I'm rather interested in history, you see, and there's nothing more fascinating to me than accounts of events as they happen from, within the social circles they happened in. It's wonderful, isn't it? Books!
I would say that wonderful is not the word I would use.
What word would you use, sir?
Festering.
Festering?
You'll find that the longer you're here. This city especially. Unlike so many places, it tends to rot from the head, as opposed to the feet. But if you're around Rufus the Just, I think you'll find that out sooner rather than later.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, sir. I'm sorry to have troubled you. Thank you for solving the mystery, though. It was driving me absolutely batty. I'm going to go rejoin my friends now, if you don't mind. Can I grab you anything on my before I leave? Drink, hors d'oeuvre.
No, I think I'm fine.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And Monty gives a cute little half bow and doesn't go too fast back over to his friends, but
As you walk away, you can feel just his eyes just boring a hole in your back.
oh, that's so creepy. Oh, I hate these people. Why are we here? Can we go home now?
Well, Rufus is fine.
Rufus
As
is
you
fine.
approach, Rufus and Reagan's mouth is full of shrimp. She's eating all of the hors d'oeuvres. I just wanted you to know.
I'm
In
just
fact,
thinking of the scene in You've Got Mail. That is a garnish.
In fact, Montague, as you are walking back, you just see the two servants have been kind of waylaid by Reagan and Rufus, who are just alternating between just drinking glasses of wine
Okay.
and just stuffing shrimp into their mouth.
Here, and
Reagan's dipping them in the wine.
What a good cocktail sauce!
Monty takes another 2 glasses of wine and thanks the servants. I am your new wine holder. Let the servants go, please. And kind of shoos the servants away so they're free of Reagan and Rufus's tyranny.
Reagan just grabs a handful of shrimp as before.
They look at you thankfully.
Yeah.
Montague. Just kind of thank you.
Yeah.
Brika looks up at Monty and is like, so how did that go for you? Because we are doing this over here.
Well, he was a Monado, probably a brother, an estranged brother.
That's good for us, actually.
Maybe he's playing the game to his mysterious odds and ends. He's here because he doesn't seem to want to marry your sister. That's what I've found out.
Oh, good. If anyone does, let me know so I can kill him. That's my job as an older sister. Doesn't count as a murder.
I mean, in the eyes of the law, it does, but...
Montague. Can I call you Monty?
Reagan.
Monty, we struck out hard with the cigar lady. I'm gonna need you to go in.
Me?
Yeah, I mean, you're the only player character left who hasn't made an ass of themselves in front of her. She hands Brika a handful of shrimp.
Monty.
In case Brika offers it. Brika, would you like some shrimp?
No.
Okay, more for me. She's eating them like chips.
Okay.
Very concerning.
Tail and all.
You know what? Monty was going to give you one of these wine glasses. He's gonna drink
No,
one.
I'm good, man. Dude,
Yeah,
no,
dude.
these dips last forever.
Rufus takes the wine glass meant for Reagan.
Okay, and Monty drinks the other one.
Oh, okay, Monty.
Yeah, I know technically he's not of legal drinking age, but that's in America, right? Okay, let's go.
Yeah. No, we live in. This is fantasy.
Anyway,
This is
Monty,
better.
don't try charming the pants off her because she don't give a fuck.
I mean,
Probably I should have just gone in there talking like this. I realize now in retrospect that probably would have gotten me somewhere. But here I am, hands covered in shrimp.
what? I don't know what you think that I'm going to accomplish by talking to her. What
Monty,
did
do you have any spells that erase the memories of people?
Just go tell her you were trying to be noble, but now you want to be down to earth.
Do I look down to earth to you?
No, she was talking to me, Montague.
Oh.
Can I call you Montague?
I mean, if you must, but yes, you can.
Montague.
I'm surprised that you even remembered that. That's my full name.
Of course I remember your name is Pentague Monsmith. She says, chewing on 6 shrimp.
Oh, I just realized that I actually have a feat for dealing with high society. I have position of privilege. I'm supposed to be here. I look like I'm supposed to be here at all times. Okay. Tiefling. Liquid courage.
Let's all go over there.
No, I'm not going if you're going.
Oh, okay. Bye, Monty. Monty, I believe in you. Would you like a shrimp
All right.
to go?
No, it's okay. I need my breath to be nice and alcoholic.
It's Reagan's new spell business. Shrimp to go.
Only slightly sweaty from being in her hands.
Ew. Okay. Alright. Guess I'm going to go talk to the tiefling.
Alright. You approach, and that tiefling is still sitting there, still smoking just this, like, gnarly, nasty-smelling acrid cigar. And it's just kind of like... She's kind of like watched that whole exchange of like the weird people just like drinking wine and eating shrimp and fistfuls of shrimp in the middle of the room, and then you like talking to you walking over. She just goes, "Yeah, can I help you?"
No. Trying to think of I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make the rounds of the party, and I was hoping to introduce myself and find out a little bit about yourself. I'm rather new in town, so my name is Montague Pensmith. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
Hi.
I suppose that you can call me Gletta Hillick.
How would you like me to address you? Lady Gletta, Miss Hillick?
Just Gletta's fine.
Okay, Gletta. I was, just curious, what brings you to Lord Gorham's party?
Lord Goring owes me... Well, we have an arrangement.
This is where it went south, Monty!
My question, Andrew, is does she look like she has the physicality to be like a fighter or anything like that? Like, can I roll insight?
Roll me insight. Yeah, roll me insight. Give me an insight check on Gletta. Let's see what you know about Gletta.
13.
Gletta definitely seems at home in her, like, stance. She doesn't have sort of that, like, tension that some people do in their body stance, but you can't make out a ton about her with the 13. Like, you can't identify, like, what her sort of shtick is.
Okay.
She sits here and she says, "So what are you here for,
Books.
Mr. Pensmith?"
I'm actually here as a guest of Rufus the Just, and...
the lush.
Yes! I'm a little bit surprised. I've never seen this side of him before.
Well, everybody has their vices.
I mean, yes, he seems quite nervous. I don't think he likes to move in these social circles very much.
I can't see why not.
You seem rather at home yourself, though.
Well, then I guess I'm doing a good job. Mr. Pensmith, I'm gonna be upfront with you. You seem like a good kid. You and your friend should probably leave.
Why do you say that? He's still smiling. He's still looking as earnest as he can.
Well, seeing as one of you is very, very drunk. One of you can't seem to decide if she is a lady of the court or a shrimp fiend. The last of you just keeps saying how she's a pro wrestler.
Well, no, Reagan's saying how Brika's a pro wrestler.
Actually, I think you'll find that Brika's quite charming. The kobold, she's very sweet.
I'm not doubting that. What I'm saying is,
we don't fit in.
Listen. There's a place for people, and there's a place for wool. This is the latter.
Interesting.
I'm sure you've already picked up on that from making the rounds around here.
Oh, yeah. It's fascinating, actually. I love watching people work.
Well, they do too.
I'm sure. Well, thank you very much for your time, Gletta. It was actually a pleasure to get to know you a little bit.
You as well, Mr. Pensmith. I hope you find what you're looking for.
She's a little bit younger than the other woman whose name escapes me.
Saya Khan?
Saya Khan. She's a little bit younger than Saya Khan?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Glad it seems like she's in her late 30s, early 40s.
Monty, offers to take her hand and kiss her hand if she wants to pass it over. Cigar smoke and all.
She kind of cocks her head a bit and she says, sorry, kid, you're not quite my type.
I quite understand. Thank you very much. And he bows and leaves. Walks back over to the group.
Okay.
You guys are fucking idiots.
I'm proud of you. It looks like she didn't kill you on sight like me.
I mean, could you hear us? Could you hear what she was saying?
I was chewing these really loud shells.
Brika, give me a perception check, because I don't think the other two would have heard. I think Brika may have heard.
Brika might have.
Nope. 11.
I think you picked up a little bit, just the tone of it overall. Maybe not all the specific details, but definitely the tone overall.
The overall tone that we don't belong.
Yeah.
We are
Kinda,
not
yeah.
welcome here.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Yeah,
Bree.
We stand out like sore thumbs.
yeah,
Yep.
we're this.
I literally always stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm not leaving until I've talked to the Lord of the Manor and my sister.
I understand that, but you need to commit to a bit there. You can either have your shrimp and eat it too, or you can be a lady of the court.
It's too late for that, Monty.
Okay, well then I guess just follow my lead.
I like the idea of as soon as Reagan messes up talking to one person, she just rips her sleeves off.
Yeah, just like,
And just
well, it's
and
over.
just shears her hair and just fucking it's well, here we are, I guess. You don't know how it is. Reagan guy in back of the house. Come
That's
on.
pretty much what happened. I mean, she didn't fuck with her outfit, but yeah, she was rolling on momentum there, and
Yeah, hey, Rufus, how are you doing?
I have to tell you that when I was, when I was 15, first time I was ever in a battle. I ever tell you that?
No, Rufus, you haven't told me that.
Yeah. There was this guy, this, nobleman, Couldn't have been a more than a few years older than me, right? He got unhorsed. That's what happens when you ride a horse in battle. You get unhorsed. It's stupid. They have a whole word for it. Why would you ever do it? But, he did. And I killed him. I killed him. And you know what happened?
He died?
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
About the nobleman?
Yeah. The whole thing just kept happening. They tell you that when you stop the king or the lord or whoever's the bad guy in the story, when you stop him, that's it, right? The whole thing stops.
Things keep coming.
Yeah, I figured that out. And everybody here feels like that.
I gotcha.
Like you could just put a sword into the skull of any of them, and the rest would just smile about it,
Well,
Reagan pats Rufus on the shoulder with her not shrimp hand. Alright.
Well,
All we have to do is last until my sister comes out, and then if anyone tries to kill my sister, we deal with that. I don't think that's gonna happen, but...
Reagan, am I right in assuming that the last time you saw your sister was the day things went really bad for you? How old was she at that time?
She was real young, right? I think.
She would have been... 9.
So it would probably be a bit of a stretch that she would recognize you right off the bat when she saw you like your brother did.
She'd know me. I haven't changed much.
Okay.
Maybe gotten a bit beefier.
Beefier, more scars, but you know what? End of the day, still got shrimp on her hands.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
Okay,
I know you people tell each other apart by hair a lot of times, so...
We're family. Ellie and I were closer than any of my other siblings.
Got it.
I'll know her when I see her, and she'll know me. We just have to wait.
Okay. Assuming there's nothing untoward, magical bullshit going on.
There better not be.
I mean, there better not be, I agree, but I don't know. The thing that gets me about this town is that I can't figure out how much everybody wants to move in political machinations and talking and social games. And what surprises me is that nobody seems to turn directly to magic.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but I also don't care at all what any of these people want.
It would be more dangerous if they made the leap straight to magic. I mean, there's all sorts of things like dominate person and all sorts of spells that.
Well, don't give them ideas, Money Pants.
That's fair.
Your Lady Lynn's mom seemed pretty into it, so I'm sure we just haven't met the right asshole yet.
At this point, a voice sort of pipes up behind you, Monty.
Oh, Jesus.
That says, not like sitting right behind you, but kind of like a bit further back, which says,
Yeah, they all want to keep things nice and neat and tidy here, you know?
and you turn and you see that there is an older-looking kobold there. He is, and by old, I mean this is this is a kobold who looks like he's like getting up there in his years. He is wearing an immaculate set of clothing though, like cuffed and collared and starched, and everything is just completely on point. And he's sitting there, and he has a little dish of cocktail sauce and his shrimp on a little plate, and he's just like eating them as he's sitting on a much too oversized chair.
They have two kinds of cocktail sauce?
He does.
He says, apologies. Couldn't help but listen in on your very interesting conversation.
Hey, Brika, you know him?
Are you kidding me?
Whoa.
Oh my god. Monty, charm. Just oh, I'm sorry. I can't help but think to myself. I just find all of the political motions so fascinating. My name is Montague Pensmith. It's a pleasure to meet you. What is your name, sir?
The couple kind of leans forward a bit and like looks you up and down, and he just says,
Well, I think like you, I have had many names in my life. You can call me Alroy, though. I've always been fond of it.
Would that be Lord Alroy, Mr. Alroy? How shall I call you? How shall I address you?
Just Alroy.
Alroy. Alrighty. Alroy. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Alroy, can I call you Al?
No.
No.
Okay, Alroy it is.
Monty and Alroy at the exact same time. No.
My name's Reagan. Do you know what time it is?
I'd say it's about time for the more important players to be making their moves.
That was what
But
I
I
was
find-
wondering. Thank you. That's an interesting watch you have.
he sort of kind of looks at you, Reagan, looks at Brika, and he seems just looking at the three of you and not Rufus at all, and he says,
How is she doing, by the way? I haven't seen her in some time, but I hope she's doing all right.
Who?
Well, you've certainly run into her enough, I think, by now.
I'm sorry. I'm certain I'm not sure who we're talking about. Would you care to elaborate?
Lynn?
She is... No, I have not had the pleasure of meeting the young lady von Templar, no. They tend to keep people like me away from the very important. It's vital to keep the world separate, you understand. No, someone that I taught a little. A few things here and there, a few tricks.
Sneaky shadow lady.
Wisteria, ne?
Is that the name she's going by nowadays?
She seems good. She doesn't talk much about herself.
Well, I don't think we've seen her recently, have we? I think the last time we saw her was as... No, we didn't know her as Wisteria. We did know her as June, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like
anyway,
during
she seems
during
good.
the grand escape with Lynn, right?
that doesn't sound like Wisteria proper, and you may have had your suspicions.
She here?
I found that she tends to come and go as she pleases.
Yeah. Busy woman. Wait. They keep you away from the important people. What are you doing here?
It's difficult to say most of the time, but you could say that I am following a few threads of a very old matter, which I am hoping to resolve
Oh.
sooner rather than later.
I see, mysterious old man. Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Hopefully not older for too much longer.
Alroy.
Yes.
You seem like a guy with his ear to the ground. any rumors floating around that there's gonna be any problems for the young lady debuting tonight?
Well, her debut proper is not for a time.
Well, the
but
thing we're doing right now.
Let's just say that when Lord Goring makes a move, people pay attention. He may be a wounded beast right now, but even a wounded creature knows how to bite when they need to. Rest assured that Lord Goring has his teeth.
So she's good?
Who does Lord Goring find to be a threat? If he's debuting his ward, I thought it was...
Hold on, Money Pants. So his ward's good then? Protected?
One can only hope.
Monty, you can ask your question now.
Does Lord Goring find this situation to be a threat of some kind, or...
Lord Goring has never been good at making friends. Allies, yes. Friends, never.
Okay.
Lord Goring currently... Well, the man who was once his, chief ally within the city. Well, Lord Minata's passing, unexpected and tragic as it was, it has changed a few things.
I'm sorry. I'm quite new to the city. I'm still learning all of the players on the chessboard, so to speak. Lord Minata being Lady Minata's husband or brother? I'm not sure. Father. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm still learning. I apologize.
Brika looks mad suspicious of this guy.
Brika, he turns to you, sort of gives you a once-over, and he says, I liked your gimmick in the arena. It was good. Little on the nose, but good.
Isn't wrestling always about being on the nose, though?
I think it's more about committing. I think you did a good job.
She's really, truly the best of us. Anyway,
Far and away.
is anyone gonna die tonight? Is that is that part of what this party's here for? 'Cause
You seem very concerned about the safety of those here.
well, mostly specifically, I don't like it when kids are in harm's way. Yeah, that's the reason.
She generally considers anyone younger than her to be a kid, so...
That's almost believable. But I think you've probably done terrible things, just like most people in this room.
Oh, sure. But yeah.
She looks intimately uncomfortable with this situation.
But yeah, are more of those gonna, like, happen here? Like, not the back alley deal, something terrible will happen later type things, but like, is this gonna be like a bloodbath? Because everyone's getting real ominous on me, and honestly, I'm not vibing with it.
It's messing with her steez.
It's difficult to say. But
You speak in riddles just like all of them.
I think I'm being very clear most of the time.
I think he is too. I just don't think you two are
Sad-
listening quite well. No, I don't think Reagan is listening close enough.
Sadly, I am not quite as... What's the best way to say it?
Plugged in?
I'm not quite as put together as I used to be, you see. There's reasons for most things in this world. But suffice to say, I'm certain that our paths will cross again, especially if you keep running into our mutual acquaintance. Pardon, as I said, I'm not quite as much of what I used to be.
What did you used to be, sir?
Well, I used to be quite the hero.
Really?
Yes.
I don't say that. Excuse me. That sounded quite. That was rude of me. I say really in the. You must have some amazing stories, and I like books and I like stories. So.
I'm afraid that most of mine have a sad ending.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That sucks.
Reagan,
Hey, Brika.
Mm?
I'm getting kind of impatient. What say we go take a look around, if you know what I mean?
Oh, why do you guys have to be like this?
I think I know exactly what you mean.
Eh?
And Brika vanishes into the shadows.
Brika, roll a stealth check for me.
Oh no!
This is what you deserve.
Brika rolled a 1!
Brika tries to vanish into the shadows only to realize that there are no shadows in this room.
I like to think that Brika just kind of crouches a little bit, just like drops like 6 inches by just crouching, like, and Alwyn just goes,
We can see you.
and Alwyn just goes, that's a neat trick. But, I think I'll have to be fading into the background a bit from here on out. But I do hope that you have a very good night. There aren't enough of those nowadays.
Thank you,
Me
sir.
too.
I appreciate it.
As he kind of gives like a little half bow, and as he does, the door at the far end of the room opens.
Oh, shit.
Stepping out of it is an immaculately dressed woman, maybe in her late 20s. She has red hair, which is drawn back and sort of expertly arranged. She is wearing a green dress, which is very clearly the height of fashion, favoring towards more of a form-fitting aesthetic rather than sort of the voluminous garb of the last few seasons in Hintilla. She has a pert nose and very delicate, graceful features, and as she steps out, you see behind her is clearly a close relative and the man who you assume to be Lord Goring. He is dressed similarly to her, except all the colors that he's wearing are muted. They are green, but they are a darker green, generally more washed out. And he has a shock of red hair, which some attempt has been made to keep it down. However, it is in the process of an open rebellion. He has a pair of cold eyes which glitter in the firelight. They glitter green as they sort of take in the room. But what you notice most about him is that even as he has like a bit of stubble on his face, he does not have it on a line across his neck where clearly someone dragged a knife along it at some point. A brutal puckering scar, which is not too pleasant to look at.
And he just
As
keeps
he
it out in
takes-
the open to remind everybody, I guess.
Well, he can't really hide like a neck scar unless he's wearing turtlenecks all day, and turtlenecks look awful. Listen, this isn't Fire Emblem. We can't all have like collars up to our fucking cheeks and like look okay somehow still. You know they fucks with those high collars.
Monty tucks his collar down a little bit.
He stands across the room and he says, "Friends and well, those of you who have yet to become our friends, I would like to thank you for coming out to our little gathering tonight. If you will accompany us, we'll be more than happy to show you to the dining room for tonight, and we will be serving dinner shortly. I believe we have someone who most of you would be very interested in meeting. I know she's eager to make your acquaintance as well." And then he turns and he walks back in. The first one who you assume is Claudia Goring. She immediately sort of just like glides over to Lady Calm, and she links arms with her. And the two of them are the first ones through the doorway as they are just speaking in polite, measured tones.
While that's going on, while he's got everybody's attention, and just as he turns around, can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, roll me a stealth check.
A stealth check?
Actually, no, roll me a sleight of hand check to see how well you're able to do this.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad at all. That's a 19 after my bonus.
Most of the people don't seem to notice you, but you hear a voice behind you which says, "You may want to keep that bit under wraps." And as you turn around, the spell being cast, you see, well, you hear Alroy's voice, but there is a very large and strapping young man standing there. He has a thick head of black hair, just like very curly and a little bit messy, and a rather devil-may-care grin. And he gives you a wink as he is just glowing with magic, and he says,
They don't like that too much.
and then he pats you on, his hand goes to your shoulder, but you feel it on your hip as Alroy walks after them into the hallway.
Okay. All right.
Just so we're clear, he is a kobold. He
Yeah, I
just
got
cast
that.
disguise self. He is not. Alroy is not secretly like a really buff human the whole time who was pretending to be a kobold.
My question is do I recognize the buff human?
No,
Okay.
no, you have not.
Okay.
But as you, one thing you notice immediately as soon as you turn your detect magic on, though, everyone here seems to have some kind of magic on them, some kind of ward, some kind of spell, some kind of protection.
Okay. That's kind of what I want.
Except us assholes.
Yeah, except us, the most honest people in the fucking room, except for Monty.
So, y'all enter in, and you, after, maybe a moment of walking, you come to a well-sized, not huge, but a well-sized room, which is set with a long dining room table. You see that Lord Goring is sort of standing at the head of the table. One seat is empty, which you assume is for the Lady Claudia. And sitting in the other one is a young woman. Reagan, it's been some time since you've seen Ellie. And I think what strikes you most about her is just how beautiful she has grown up in. What a beautiful person she has grown up into. Some of your other siblings, they've sort of had a bit of the... They all look like people. Kind of flawed in their own ways. Ellie, however, looks every inch the noblewoman that your family always hoped that they would become. What does Reagan do in this moment?
She makes a beeline that way.